Hello there everyone. This will be a quick video on the technical names that you can give each of the notes within a scale. In part 1, we assigned every note in the scale a number, also known as a scale degree. Scale degree 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. In our discussions on solfege this week, we also gave each of the notes a syllable that we use when we are singing. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, and do. In the context of you analyzing a piece of music, or if you were to try and relay a specific part of a scale to another musician, those two instances would be cases for when you could use these more technical names. And the names themselves, they're pretty self-explanatory. It's just remembering them and memorizing them that is going to be a little bit tricky. But without further ado, let's go ahead and do that. Scale degree 1 is known as the tonic. Scale degree 2 is the supertonic. Super in this case meaning above, so above the tonic. Mediant, this is the middle. Scale degree 3 is the middle of what exactly? I'll explain that in a little bit. Scale degree 4 is the subdominant. Sub in this case meaning below. So this is below the dominant, scale degree 5. In this case it's G. Quickly going back to the mediant, this is labeled as such because it is the middle note of the tonic chord. So, if we were to put this in the context of C major, the tonic chord is spelt C, E, and G. E is the middle note of that chord. That is why it is labeled as the mediant. Progressing onward to scale degree 6, this is the submediant for a similar reason as to why E is the mediant. I'll get to this in a moment also. B, scale degree 7, is our leading tone. And it is called such because of this half-step relationship between scale degree 7 and scale degree 8. It naturally wants to try and resolve back to tonic, to naturally lead into tonic. So that is why it's called the leading tone. Now the submediant, this is, again, sub meaning below. It is below the middle note of the dominant chord. In this case, it's spelled G, B, and D. This note is below the middle note of the dominant chord. In this case, it's B. So then A would be labeled the submediant. And those are all of the technical names, no matter what scale you have, or no matter what tonic you have. So you see I have below C major a G major scale. You'll notice that each of those notes is the same for their position. 1 is always going to be tonic, 5 is always going to be dominant, 7 is always going to, 6 is always going to be submediant, etc., etc. There is an exception here if you go into minor. If the relationship between scale degree 7 and scale degree 8 is a whole step, then scale degree 7 is labeled as subtonic. So in this case, below tonic. But everything else is exactly the same. Again, 1 is always going to be tonic, 2 is always going to be sub or supertonic, etc., etc. I will have a screenshot of this in the module for this lecture so that you can refer back to this at any time. But if you have any questions relating to the technical names of each of the scale degrees, please feel free to get in touch with me at any point in time. Music be with you.